Hello, good to see you back for another of our classic film reviews. Now we wanted to make a bit of a change of pace. After having initially highlighted a series of celebrated and better known films, we decided for a change of direction and a change of pace. This is a film that you won't find on any 100 greatest lists. It isn't one of the 1001 films you should see before you die, but it is one of my must-see films. It's a British film from 1962 called The L-Shaped Room. This film is known as a kitchen sink drama. It's from that period in British cinema of the late 50s into the early to late 60s, where the subject matter was very gritty and very real. The situations in which we saw these people in were ones we could identify with. Certainly the audiences of the time did as well. The actors also seem much more like everyday people than some of the actors we might see from Hollywood or else, where they sometimes seem impossibly beautiful and impossibly well composed. Now this film deals with topics such as abortion, single motherhood, and a male-centric society and the impact that has on females. Now, as much as this was an issue in 1962, it's an ongoing issue for us today, and it's a film for contemporary audiences. This is not a film for everyone. Some people do go to the cinema for light entertainment, for escapism, for distraction, and that group of people is going to find this film quite challenging. They may describe it as depressing or very heavy, and I would not recommend that film for that particular set of viewers. For those of us who believe film should be challenging, should take on the human condition and sometimes very vexed social issues, this is a film that delivers on that. It's a film that asks us to think and to feel, and it's a film that's very rewarding on those particular levels. Leslie Caron is the star of this film. She plays the central character, and the film was greenlit based on her attaching herself to the film. As a result, the story was changed. It was initially based on the novel by Lynn Reid Banks, in which the central character was an Englishwoman. Obviously, because Leslie was involved, the central character became a French woman. Now, Caron puts in a fabulous performance in this particular film. She won a BAFTA, she won a Golden Globe, and she was also nominated for an Academy Award for Best Actress, and she was well deserving. Brock Peters, who plays Johnny, a Caribbean jazz musician in this particular film. You may know him better from a film called To Kill a Mockingbird, a film from the same year, where he played the accused, Tom Robinson. Now, he puts in a great performance in this film, perhaps better than To Kill a Mockingbird. His background was actually as a musician. He was a bass baritone, and that may well explain why he slipped so easily into this particular role. But again, he's convincing as a Caribbean character despite his American background. The other key performer in this film is Tom Bell. He plays struggling writer Toby. He, at the time, was considered a rising star of British cinema. However, unfortunately, Tom ran into issues with alcohol, and he actually was in a very embarrassing incident involving Prince Philip. He heckled him during an award ceremony. Now, if that happened today, it probably wouldn't damage his career at all. It may well enhance it. But back in the early 60s, it caused his career to grind to a halt, which is unfortunate because he puts in a great performance in this film. Now, this film has a fabulous opening. A number of sequences in which we establish that Leslie Caron is very alone, she's very, very vulnerable, and she is in some ways in a little bit of peril. Now, due to the limited availability of accommodation, she is forced to settle for a poorly maintained room in an impoverished and dangerous part of town. On the way up to her L-shaped room in the building she chooses to live in, she passes the prostitutes who live in the basement. She also passes the busybody who lives on the ground floor. She passes the struggling writer on the stairs, and she has a somewhat alarming encounter with her immediate neighbour, a Caribbean jazz musician. The writer, the musician, and Leslie are quickly embroiled in a love triangle, which becomes increasingly complex. Now, while the characters could have easily fallen into stereotype, they are quickly established as quite complex and sympathetic individuals. They're people that bring a great deal to the story being told, and it would be fair to say that during the course of the film, we care about them all. Now, this film is also wonderfully atmospheric. This particular series of scenes very quickly takes us back into the London of the early 1960s. It also takes us into the hot, sweaty intimacy of an underground jazz establishment. These sequences have been spliced together to share with you the look, the sound, and the feel of this pivotal part of the film. What has been edited out are short grabs of critical dialogue. They actually set up the ongoing conflict and drive us on to the film's climax and ultimate resolution. Now, you'll need to watch the film to see how well this set of full sequences really works. Importantly, it's a story that keeps you engaged. Through the entire film, we care about all of the characters and we cheer for them. We hope that things turn out as well as they possibly can for them as well. And the film has a fabulous ending. I'm not going to share it with you. I really want you to watch this particular film. So go to the website, follow the link, watch The L-Shaped Room, and when you have done, come back here, leave some comments at the bottom, let us know if you liked or didn't like the film, and certainly let us know whether you would encourage other people to watch this film as well. And then we'll see you again fairly shortly for another great classic film review. See you again soon.